Hello class, we're group 27 and our project is on how office workers are affected by having a sedentary lifestyle. Our objectives for this project are the following: to educate our audience about what a sedentary lifestyle is, to inform them on the health risks of living a sedentary lifestyle, to discuss current trends and statistics within the community of San Diego and the United States, to discuss current programs implemented to encourage physical activity within the public, and finally, to propose our own program to increase physical activity amongst those with office jobs. Our agenda for today will be to explain what it means to have a sedentary lifestyle, what the problems, statistics, and barriers are with being sedentary, explain who are the people affected by these issues, go over the Healthy People 2020 objectives related to physical activity, and finally, all the different components of our group proposal and how this will correlate with the Healthy People 2020 objectives. So what is a sedentary lifestyle? Well, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, being sedentary is characterized by much sitting and little physical exercise. So having a sedentary lifestyle is basically the style of living without participating in much physical activity. The problem with being sedentary is that it negatively affects one's health. According to the World Health Organization, approximately 2 million people die each year due to physical inactivity, and it is the fourth leading risk factor for global mortality. Also, the average amount of time people sit each day is about 12 hours, or about 50% of the day. Now, according to Healthy People 2020, 28% of Americans above 6 years of age are physically inactive, and less than 5% of adults participate in at least 30 minutes of physical activity each day, and 1 in 3 adults receive the recommended amount of exercise each week. Nationwide, more than 80% of adults don't meet neither aerobic or muscle strengthening activity guidelines, and more than 80% of adolescents don't meet aerobic physical activity guidelines for youth. Finally, only 25.6% of people with disabilities reported being physically inactive, compared to 12.8% of people without a reported disability. In a 5-year comparison in the state of California, the percentage of adults who engage in no leisure time physical activity increased. As you can see from these graphs that we have here on the slide, the one on your left was from 2011 and the one on your right was from 2016. The most recent information the CDC had on this was from 2016, and compared to 2011, this percentage of inactive adults increased by 1.4%. So, it seems that more American adults are becoming inactive in their lives. Next, we have some statistics that we found based on San Diego. In 2007, San Diego was listed in Forbes' website as one of the top 20 most sedentary cities in the country. And according to a poll from a nonprofit organization based in San Diego, the American Council on Exercise, on their website they state 21% of adults are not sure what to do at a gym, so they decide not to go. 19% of people believe they're too out of shape to go to the gym. And lastly, 3% of people also avoid the gym just because they're too scared to ask any questions. Thus, these are some of the barriers as to why people choose not to do any physical activity within San Diego. Additional barriers to living an active lifestyle, according to the CDC, fall into 7 categories, which include lack of time, social influences, lack of energy, lack of willpower, fear of injury, lack of skill, and finally, lack of resources. So who is affected by this? The CDC believes that young people and adults are most at risk, and only 1/3 of adults meet current public health recommendations. But one's career is also a variable, and office workers seem to be most at risk of being physically inactive. Here is a short video on the effects of sitting on office workers.
Throughout history, humans spend most of their time moving about. But now, more and more, we find ourselves sitting, which is not necessarily a good thing. Today, office workers spend hours slouched over and hunched into chairs, moving minimally. Even after finishing work, we continue our everyday lives on the couch. That is, if we're even able to continue it on at all. Despite the spinal, body weight related, and cardiovascular problems caused by unhealthy postures. It's been shown that people with sitting jobs have twice the rate of cardiovascular disease as people with standing jobs. In fact, a recent medical journal study showed that people who sit for most of their day are 54% more likely to die of a heart attack. Even if you dedicate a lot of time to staying fit, the time you spend sitting is still far greater than what's healthy for your body. Even 1 hour of daily sports can't compensate for 11-hour sitting sprees. So, what can you do?
The job of an office worker requires them to sit for most of the day. And according to a survey given by AccuView, which is a contact lens company, it was based off of 2,000 office workers, where they found the average time that they spent behind a computer was 6.5 hours per day. And another company called Ergotron found that 56% of workers use their lunch or their restroom time as the only time to get up during the workday. These graphics on the side go in detail with a different study based on a personal training program called Gym Guys. So in their study, they found that about 61% of the office workers said they don't regularly exercise. 57% of them blame their sedentary office job for the decline in their health and fitness. And lastly, on the bottom right-hand corner, you'll notice that it says 92% of them regularly have days where they spend most of the day sitting at a desk. So what are the consequences of living a sedentary lifestyle? Well, the major thing is that it can lead to people being overweight or obese. Hopkins Medicine states that approximately 33% of adults in San Diego are overweight, 26% are obese, and 30% of children in 5th, 7th, and 9th grade are overweight or obese. The graph on the right shows this information for the year 2009. Some more consequences include an increased risk of developing a chronic disease, such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. They are also at risk of feeling depressed or anxious. And being sedentary can affect a person's cognitive functioning. Finally, being physically inactive can cost people their lives and cost this country millions and millions of dollars each year. According to the CDC, inadequate levels of physical inactivity costs about $117 billion in annual healthcare costs. The benefits of participating in physical activity are numerous, as you can see from this slide, and they include things such as helping to reduce the risk of heart disease, helping people manage their weight, helping to lower blood pressure, prevent an early death, helping to lower the risk of some cancers such as breast and colon cancer, and it can help people feel better overall with more energy, a better mood, and being more relaxed. Healthy People 2020 came up with 2 objectives that are directly related to physical activity. And they are PA-1, which is to reduce the proportion of adults who engage in no leisure time physical activity, and also PA-2, which is to increase the proportion of adults who meet current federal physical activity guidelines for aerobic physical activity and for muscle strengthening activity. Healthy People 2020 retained these objectives from the Healthy People 2010 objectives and are aiming for a 10% improvement by the year 2020. One current program in San Diego County, which is trying to help address this problem of physical inactivity, is from Live Well San Diego, and it is a yearly 31-day fitness challenge. This year it was in July and provided the public with lots of resources and incentives to become physically active, such as a fitness calendar and log sheet, a meetup calendar, fitness challenge flyer, news articles, a music playlist that they could use during their workouts, a 7-minute mini workout video, and email or text notifications which remind the participants to attend the Live Well San Diego 5K on July 29th of this year. One nonprofit organization that we found that was invested in this issue at hand is the American Council on Exercise, or ACE. Nonprofit organizations are tax exempt or charitable, and they are used to serve the public interest. They must fall into one of these categories, it being charitable, educational, religious, scientific, or literacy. In addition, in a lecture given earlier this semester by Professor Yu, we learned that nonprofit organizations best fulfill their public health duties through community partnerships and not just through closely government linkages. Thus, this specific nonprofit org is based here in San Diego, and it helps provide people with fitness certifications, education, and training. They also give out free workshops to whoever is interested in it. Now for our group proposal. We plan on encouraging office workers to start living an active lifestyle by educating them and providing them with resources. We are going to contact several offices in downtown San Diego and give them both our flyers and surveys to hand out to their employees. This would be what our flyer would look like. It's simple but informative. It includes statistics, names of helpful and encouraging apps that they can download from their Apple or Android store, and it would also have the name of our Facebook page that will contain a lot more information if they are interested, and we will go into more depth of our Facebook page in a couple more slides. Here are some apps that we believe can help motivate people to start being physically active. First, we have Edmundo, which is ideal for running, cycling, walking, and any other distance sports. This app helps connect people to encourage each other. Next, we have Keys. This app emphasizes on health benefits and corporate wellness. It is a consumer-style app for employees and dependents that is gamified, social, and mobile that encourages a lot of engagement. Lastly, we have Hotseat. Users can schedule 2-minute activity breaks throughout their day. The system uses nudges, social accountability, and gameplay to get employees to get up and moving. Now here are some pictures from our Facebook page. We decided to make a Facebook page that is focused primarily on office workers. There are lots of fitness accounts on social media today, but not that many that are focused specifically on people with office jobs. So our posts would be helpful for that specific demographic. Now on to our expectations and results. In order to see if our flyers and Facebook page were helpful to the public's health, we would administer short surveys before and after providing any resources. We expect that before we do anything, most of the office workers will be inactive, and we hope that after we intervene with our proposal, less office workers will be inactive. With our proposal, we are hoping to work alongside the Healthy People 2020 objectives to reduce the proportion of adults who engage in no leisure time physical activity and to increase the proportion of adults who meet current federal physical activity guidelines. Finally, here are our references. Thank you so much for your time. Does anyone have any questions?